today we are going to be talking about congruent statements that can prove two triangles congruent. One of those ways we can prove triangles congruent is side, side, side. And what that means is if the sides of one triangle are congruent to the sides of a second triangle, then the triangles themselves are congruent. So, notice that AB is congruent to ZX. Do you see that? And BC is congruent to YX. And AC is congruent to ZY. Since each part of this triangle has congruence, these two triangles are congruent. So we can say, we can create a triangle congruent statement because of this. So AB is congruent to ZX. BC, one second.
See, this is when you need an Apple Watch.
It's because my daughter's sick, so my husband just texted me.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, guys.
that's when you-
All right. So, AB is congruent to ZX, BC is congruent to XY, and AC is congruent to ZY. So if you follow the congruent statement, remember, each of the sides that are congruent need to follow along. So one of the things that some of you guys were doing wrong on that CPCTC worksheet is you didn't go in a circle. So make sure we go from, if we're going A to B, B to C, and then C back to A, on our other triangle, we need to follow that same pattern so that we're... Do you guys see that, what I'm saying, by writing that? 1 second, Rob, sorry. What's up?
So you know how the seniors have that meeting?
Have breakfast right now? Yeah.
What?
They have a senior breakfast right now.
I was like, I didn't know if there's like a meeting for every.
No, it's just seniors. So do we understand how this was written? Do you see how it goes from the single line to the double line to the triple line? Single line, double line, triple line when you write the congruent statement? Do we all see that? Okay, because that was something that I noticed a few of you were doing wrong on your CPCTC worksheet. All right. The other one we're going to talk about right now is side angle side is another way to prove two triangles are congruent. So if two sides and the included angle of one triangle are incongruent to two sides and the included angle of another, then the triangles are incongruent. What this is saying when it says included angle is the angle that is formed by the two marked sides. So included angle is the angle that is formed by the two marked sides. So do you see how this is a marked side and this is a marked side? So the vertex is up here. That's the included angle. If you were to like close that angle, so do you see how this is the angle here? If you were to close that angle, do you see how that includes the two sides? It's between those two. This is not an included angle. Do you see how it's not including this side here? So the included angle includes the two marked sides. And it has to be that way on both of them. So if you have that going on for you, plus one of the sides, the included angle, and the other side are congruent, then you know these two triangles are congruent and you can write a triangle congruent statement. So ABC is congruent to FDE. So notice we want A to B, and then B to C, C back to A, right? So we have to go from the single line to the given angle and around on the other one. So that's why they went F to D, D to E, E to F. Does that make sense? There. Okay, we will be doing proofs with this at some point, starting tomorrow. Not some point, tomorrow, as long as I'm here. And then,
What do you mean as long as I'm here?
my daughter is sick, so,
Oh, that makes sense.
yes, yeah. So I have to figure out what's going on for tomorrow now. Yeah, sorry, Rob. I forgot that we're both in a mood today, which probably isn't a good thing. All right. So
Don't look at me.
side angle can never be used. Never possible for this to work. Do not use. Let me spell this for you.
Dang, that was fast. Let me spell this.
Should you be using bad words in math class?
Yes.
No. So if you write this down on your paper, you should feel embarrassed that you are about to cuss at me in class. Do you understand me? You have, right, I know. But you should be embarrassed to cuss at me in class. Do you understand me? You should automatically erase it once you do this. This is not allowed. I like that you just wrote that there. My first year teaching, I wouldn't do this. I was so afraid that I was going to get in trouble, and then I started doing it, and somebody was like, aren't you afraid you're going to get in trouble? I was like, why? I'm talking about a triangle theorem here. That's angle side side. So, just a real quick thing here. Yeah. Okay, so these two triangles. So angle side side means that the angle is not included. So do you see how the two sides here, and this would have been the included angle, B would have been the included angle? Well, this isn't an included angle. It's outside of the sides. All right? So this is angle side side, bad word. And you'll notice that these two triangles are not the same. Are they the same size? No, they have angle side side, but they are not the same. Now, we could create a triangle that has the same. We could have one that's the same, but it's not always true, like side, 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 and side angle side. Does that make sense? All right. So, let's get started here. Determine if the triangles are congruent by side angle side, 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 or it's not even possible to determine them. So, number one, is that by side angle side, 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 or not even possible? Yeah, Ian? Yeah, why is it side, side, side? I don't have a third side marked.
Because it's congruent.
It's shearing this side, right? So this is congruent by the reflexive property, meaning that they shear it. It's like a reflection in the mirror, right? So really, therefore it is congruent by side, side, side. So if it shears a side, that side is also congruent. Okay? How about number two? Are those congruent by side, 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 side angle side, or not possible? So number two is the one to the right there. Okay, so side angle side means that the angle is between the two sides, right? Because you hear how the angle is between them? Is the angle between the two sides, if you were to close those two sides up? Is that the included angle? Remember, the included angle is formed by the two sides. So is this the included angle? No, this is a bad word. This is angle side side. Bad word. You should be writing it down on your piece of paper in math class, okay? Maybe later in a different one. No, it's not a property. It's not possible. Lindsay just wants to write it everywhere. That's the problem.
Oh my gosh. SSA though?
You could do SSA or...
That's what it is.
Yeah, I know. I just switched it around for you guys. All right. So, this is not possible. This angle here is not included. So it is not between the two sides. How about that next one there? Abby, how about that next one there? How are those ones congruent? That is included. This is the included angle. It is formed by the two sides that are marked congruent. So this is side angle side. What else could you have done it? Is there another way you could have said these are congruent? Is there another way? Don't they share a side here?
This would be side, whatever that.
Yeah, they could have also done side, 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 because those are congruent as well by that reflexive property there. All right. Next one. Determine which postulate can be used to prove that the triangles are congruent. If it is not possible to prove they are congruent, write not possible. Harmony, number 4. Are they congruent, and if so, by what? Yep, they share. They both share 3 sides that are congruent. So that's congruent by side, side, side. Number 5, Gabe. Is the angle included or is it not included? Yes. So if the angle is included, meaning it's between 2 sides, then it is congruent by side, angle, side. Do you understand what I mean by included angle? Is anybody confused by that? Because if you don't know what that is, then that makes it harder. Oh. So here is, we'll look at these 2 together because the next one angle is not included. So if you just had like a angle, you know what I mean, just like a B, if you were to have it open to that, you see how the angle, the side, and the other side touch that? That makes it included. Whereas if I were to put it on this one, do you see how the angle is not in those 2 sides? Yeah. Does that make it a little bit more visible for you? So this one is not an included angle, which means that this would be angle side, side, which is that allowed? No, that's not a property we can use. So that one is not possible. All right, so I know that those 2 sides are congruent. I also know that those 2 angles are congruent. Why can I say those 2 angles are congruent? Yeah. They're vertical angles. Do we still have enough information, though? No, we need 3 things to prove them congruent. Do we have 3 things? No, we only have 2, so not enough information. Were you going to say something?
I was going to answer.
Okay. I would say not possible, sorry.
Do you want a donut left over from the senior class back there?
Sure, do you mind just putting it on my desk for me?
Oh, hi, baby. That's my sister.
Yeah. All right, number 8. What do you want to, what is it, Ian?
It's SAS or SS.
It's either one because they share that side, thank you. They share that side, so you can mark those congruent by the reflexive property. So those are congruent by the reflexive property. It's by like looking in a mirror. So you could do side, 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 or as Ian mentioned, it's also side, angle, side, because that angle is included between 2 congruent sides. Okay, so you could either say by side, 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 or by side, angle, side. What? I'm going to eat that donut, Rob. All right, are these 2 congruent? Are those 2 congruent? Logan, are those last 2 congruent?
Yes.
Yes, they share a side by reflexive property, right? So what is that congruent by? SSS. They're all sides. So side, side, side. You literally just say what they are. So if it's a side, and a side, it's SSS because they start with SSS. If it's a side included angle inside, it's SAS because that's what they start with. Does that help you a little bit? Okay.